In this video, I want to share my knowledge. I want to recommend you a very interesting system against King's Indian. I will show you the game, very instructive, which represents a model of how to play these types of positions. So d4, knight f6, knight f3, g6, bishop g5. It is called the Torre attack, and I think this is a very interesting recommendation against King's Indian, and very unpleasant against King's Indian players from the psychological point of view, because here it is very difficult for black to find to create a strong counterplay on the king side. Bishop g7, knight b to d2, d6, e4, short castle, c3, knight b to d7, bishop to e2. This looks passive, but the bishop will go to f1 later in any event. e5, d takes e5. White is actually playing the best plan from the RT with reverse colors. The position looks symmetrical, but it is far from being a boring and bloodless setup. White's plan is very simple: to grab space on the queen side. A very similar position arises after knight e5, knight takes e5, d takes e5, short castle, queen to e7, queen to c2, b6, queen c4, bishop b7, f3. D takes e5, short castle, b6. This looks logical, but it is always a tough question as to where to develop the light squared bishop. However, here it seems as though black didn't choose the luckiest solution. A more common plan is queen e8, escaping the pin and aiming to play knight h5. For instance, rook e1, knight h5, knight c4, knight b6. Knight e3, of course, white avoids swaps. Swaps, the knight on b6 is not a good piece and might become a target in the future. Rook e1, bishop b7, queen c2, h6, bishop h4, queen e7. The typical idea with g5, bishop g3, knight h5 doesn't work. After bishop e5, knight e5, knight e5, the knight is hanging. Queen e7, bishop to f1, rook f8. There would be a big weakening of the f5 square after g5. Bishop g3, knight h5, knight c4. With knight e3, knight e5. d4. So everything is ready for action on the queen side in order to gain space and provoke weaknesses in the black camp. A limp move with an obscure idea. Much more logical was to slow down white's play with a5. a3. b5 is a big positional blunder because this move gives black to play knight c5 and with a huge positional advantage. So a6, knight c4, rook ac8. Sorry, no. A few words about a5, a3, of course, and then knight c4, knight f2 d2, of course, and f3. Okay, for example, bishop c6, knight c4, a takes b4, c takes b4, bishop to e4, queen to d2, rook e to d8, rook ac1. The threat is knight b2 and the pawn c7 is hanging. And white is slightly better. White has a better control of the important squares and prospective endgames thanks to the a. Knight c4, rook ac8. This allows easy play with a4. Better was queen e6, knight f2 d2 and c5. c8, a4, queen a6. After losing space, it is harder for black to find some active plan. Looking for active play with c5 would be very bad now because of b5, and white has a big advantage. Queen 7, knight f2 d2. Very typical maneuver for this type of positions. Very good. The idea is to improve this bishop. f3. The dark squared bishop has finished his job on the short diagonal h48, and now he is transferred to the longer and more useful g1 a7 diagonal to lend support to further activities on the queen side. Of course, white is not interested. White is not interested in exchanging his good bishop. A nice multifunctional move. This frees the c4 square for the other middle pieces and for running the c4 pawn. So after the knight d6, c4. So white has many pluses in his position. His pieces stand much better, especially his knight. So c4, yeah. So I think now very unpleasant idea to play c5 and what to do. So, and in case of c5, b takes, knight d5. White's pieces stand much better, especially his knight on d5, which dominates, while black can't bring his knight to d4. The open d file will be in white hands, and probably the biggest problem in black's position is the c5 pawn, which will fall sooner or later.